Hello and welcome to another episode of Tours and Tactics. Today we're going to split the mold a little bit and go over some attacks that I made during Beta Weekend Event 2. Now this first target that we're going to be assaulting, if you'll recall, is Quentin Lake. It is the one with the bridge connecting from the wall to the Keep Lord. Now as you can see here, this is still the map where the red's completely dominating, and I am setting people on fire with my loyal flamethrower. Now, one of the things you'll notice in Beta Weekend Event 3 videos, first because in their infinite wisdom, ArenaNet decided to wipe all the characters from the previous Beta Weekends for Beta Weekend Event 3, which really didn't make any sense, and it made it a lot harder to test the World vs. World in Beta Weekend Event 3 than it was in 1 and 2. But I also changed Nell to a warrior. I actually enjoyed the warrior a lot more than the engineer. The engineer still feels kind of awkward. I'll probably play with it more when the game launches. But the thing you'll notice here is we are actually all following one individual. One of the first things you're going to want to do whenever you start making a concentrated effort to take locations is, this may sound really basic, is to find a leader. Someone who can coordinate the group and has enough of a grasp of tactics to lead the hodgepodge of individuals all trying to take these same locations. One of the ways Guild Wars 2 is going to deal with this is having a commander badge that you buy for presently 3 gold as of last beta. And they're indicated on the mini-map, and they help you locate groups to attack towers with. So as you can see, we're not really making much headway. We're not able to set up any siege weapons or anything like that. I'm just trying to support it with various flame shots. And burning stuff down, setting things on fire is generally good. Now in a bit you're going to see me take off towards one of the upper ridges, and we're going to fast forward that a little bit for ya, so you don't have to see me run all the way up there. I went up there because I had 10 supply and they were calling for extra supply. And we've got it might be a catapult being built. And I attempt to set up an arrow cart and accidentally do a Kirk roll. Now, as you see, we get back to the ridge, and the siege weapon we were setting up was destroyed, because they had set up a ballista on the wall. Now, one of the things you'll notice in the lower corner there is our leader basically calling to abandon this attack. I know I've brought it up before, but it's one of those things you kind of want to learn, is if you've got a group of people and you're attacking a location and you're really not making headway, then one of the best tactics to do, especially if the enemy has been loading all kinds of people in there, is to find another location to attack. And that's exactly what we do. We head up north towards Durios Gulch. And I run as fast as I can up this road. I know I've brought it up before, and it's one of those that is kind of debatable. It's like, do you keep pounding on the door? I really don't think you should. As with everything, the ideas here are subjective and objective. What works for one group or one scenario may not work for another group or scenario. But at the time, the Reds were all piled up at Quentin Lake, not Durios Gulch. And notice here, something interesting that we did, is it looked like someone had already pulled the guards out. So we basically put ourselves between the guards and the gate. So we're going to take out these guards here, set them on fire. Things are always better when set on fire. and we begin our assault. But the first thing we do here is, of course, set up a ram, which was one of the mistakes we made before. We allowed them time to set up siege weapons that would pretty much knock out our own siege weapons. So here, they only had a couple of defenders on the wall, so we were able to get our ram set up and start beating down the door. As I learned in Beta Weekend Event 3, the ram is vital. It really, really is. The long-range siege equipment is good for if you want to open up another area of attack, but also keep this in mind. This is something I hadn't quite considered until this point. If you destroy sections of the wall, whether you intend to go through them or not, let's say you've got a ram at the front and you're not really worried about additional people, set up something to take out walls, because then those sections that are taken out by the long-range siege weapons can't have siege weapons put back on them. Meaning, let's say that you're attacking someone who put a trebuchet on a wall section. Your first option would be to set up a ballista and attempt to take out the trebuchet. There is actually an instance later on in Beta Weekend Event 3 in which we'll hopefully show that. I'm pretty sure we recorded it. In which we attempt to do that, but we don't have the supply, so the trebuchet ends up taking us out. But ballistas only take 20 supply, so if you can get 2 people to set up a ballista to take out the trebuchet, then that's one option. Another option, when you're on the attack and they don't have those siege weapons set up yet, is to take out the wall sections. Because if you take out the wall sections, then number 1, you can't have defenders up there. Number 2, if you want to press through it, you have that option, even if you're still trying to bang down the door. And it just limits the defender's options. I know that's another element that's been up for debate is, should we attack this, or should we open up this other avenue? And as with everything, it's up for debate. Some keeps are much better suited to multiple angles of attack, some aren't. It all depends on your group size, your makeup, and how experienced you are. As you can see, we're setting a tree person on fire. Or at least I am. Everyone else is doing waves and shields, and I get them really pissed off at me. Tree guy does not like fire. But we're going to continue this in the next episode, so until then, my friends, game on, and take care.